Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone today? We're at day 3. So day 3 is kind of that day that sometimes people will be like, oh my gosh, like I haven't been keeping up. What do I need to be doing? Um, what happens if I haven't been keeping up? All those things, all those questions. And I just want to let you know it's okay, right? Like part of this is just staying in the room. It's staying in the process and really thinking about like what's going to change? Like what's going to happen? Like what happens when you drop the sugar shame, right? Like how does your life change? And changes a lot, quite frankly. So I just really want like everyone to know that it's okay if you haven't done all the videos. It's okay if you haven't done your workbook, but you might want to go ahead and grab that because tomorrow we're going to go over it together and we'll be actually like going through the process and filling in things and like working it out together. So if you haven't started going through your workbook, you really might want to just grab it for tomorrow. Okay. But for today, let's just talk about like what it feels like, right? What does it feel like to not have the sugar shame, to like not wake up like one of my clients says that when she was waking up before she was waking up literally with a sugar hangover, like she didn't feel good, she felt kind of yucky, um, she hadn't been sleeping well, all of those things, the things that happen. So really quick, let's recap. For those of you who have already been here, not a problem. This is going to be fast. For those of you who haven't seen this before, okay, you can go to the all access page or you can catch the videos here in the group. Either way, doesn't matter. They're all the same videos. And just kind of do a quick preview of what I'm going to talk about. But I'm just going to give you the high level, okay? So one thing is that you don't want to do this without a plan, okay? Trust me, you just don't want to do this without a plan. You want to set yourself up to win instead of setting yourself up to lose. And when you go into something like this without a plan, without knowing what you're going to be doing when you need to be doing it, and without knowing like what happens when the triggers happen, like we talked about yesterday, what do I do? So you need to use not just a plan though, is you need to have those brain tactics that we've talked about and that we're going to keep talking about. There's a lot of them. And like the physical action tools too, that we'll be talking about, because there's so much that goes into this. If quitting sugar was easy, okay? If quitting sugar was an easy thing, then like we wouldn't be sitting here, right? It's not. It's a thing that it's something that is super addictive. Like it's so addictive to our brains and to our bodies that we don't realize it because it is part of our world, right? It's part of our celebrations. It's part of our morning. It's part of like day to day. It's just what we do, right? It's part of what we see in our like in the world, like we talked about yesterday, when you just see it on the TV and you see it like, it's everywhere, whether it's advertising or the shows we watch or whatever, like it's insidious. Okay. And so knowing that it's insidious and feeling that you're still, doing something about it, you're winning. Okay. You're totally winning. So, I want to just tell you about someone who was in the program early, okay? And the reason I'm telling you about Sue is because there's just so many pieces of her story that are so much of what I've been getting the emails about. Like I've been getting emails this week, and we'll talk about like some of the things that people are afraid of, right? It's normal to have fear. We're afraid of lots of stuff, right? It's just fear is normal. It's how we deal with it that matters. So for Sue, she had tried before, right? Like she needed to quit sugar. She had some health issues. Okay. She was on some medications. She had some weight issues. I mean, she was told me that she was super moody. Like she, quite frankly, she said she was pissed off all the time. And so there was a lot of stuff going on with her. But she always said that every time she tried to quit sugar, about day 10, roughly, say a weekend, she would just fall off the wagon. It was just too much, done. And So she started the 30-day reset with me, and she was doing good. She's doing good. And it was about day 7 when I noticed that she didn't show up. There was nothing, like, she'd been posting a lot. She'd been posting a lot, but she hadn't been like buying into what I was telling her. Like, she was posting kind of counter arguments. And day 7, no Sue. Day 8, no Sue. So by day 9, I'm emailing her and texting her and going, where are you, right? And she said, you know what? It happened again. I just fell off the wagon. This is not for me. I'm just going to have to live with my sugar addiction. And I talked her into coming back. And I talked her into, actually, we sat down, we got on the phone together, and we made a plan. We made the plan that we're going to talk about for her, and a very specific plan, because for her, she didn't like my tactics. Okay. I mean, that was the bottom line. She didn't like my tactics at all. So she just promised me that she'd buy in for the next 20 days. Okay. And what happened was she ended up doing it. She ended up stretching it into, I think it was like 45 days roughly. And in that period of time, like, she changed completely. And one of the things she did was, like, she said that she was no longer moody. She no longer argue with me all the time. And she was no longer like waking up feeling crappy. And she was starting to lose, like, she'd lost several inches around her belly, and like the whole belly area. And what happens is that you might not see, like, if you get on a scale, which I think scales are the devil, but if you get on a scale, you're not going to see a lot of weight loss, but you're going to see a lot of inches lost. It's completely counterintuitive, but it works. And so now, she's part of, like, she's part of my family, but it's working, right? And she just has something in her back pocket that she can pull out whenever it's not working so well for her, right? Whenever stress has piled up, boredom's piled up, whatever it is, it started piling up. And then she starts catching herself eating too much sugar, or, doing the ice cream late at night, or whatever that is. So, okay, I just want you to know about Sue, because, like, the 2 questions I'm getting again and again right now are, this is bad timing for me. I can't do this right now because I have X, right? That's not a reason. Okay. Like, think about it. Like, I think I've said this before, but the number one reason that people don't start a fitness workout or a workout routine when I'm working with them on their fitness is they're like, next week, I'm not going to be so busy. Next week, I'll have time. Next week doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. I mean, if anyone's on the call right now and next week happens really well for them, just let me know. Sorry. I don't mean to sound tacky, because that did sound tacky, but I'm going to check Facebook real quick just to see if I've got any questions. Hey, Jackie, thanks for saying good morning. Good morning to you too. So hang on just a second. Technology, I can't check Facebook and still talk. So when I say timing's never going to be good, what I would prefer that people think about is that, okay, so let's say that you have something coming up. Let's say you have a trip coming up. Let's say you have a really busy work week. Let's say you've got whatever it is that's coming up. Then 2 things with that. One of them is that it's life. Okay. It's just life. Life happens. And whether it's this week or next week or 30 days from now, there's going to be busy times. There's going to be events. There's going to be travel, hopefully, right? There's going to be things going on. So all we have to do is learn to work with it, right? I mean, this is just, we've got to be able to do this with life. We can't just have something that, it's like, in the old days when you'd get on a diets, and you'd be like, oh, I can't do anything for, I don't know, whatever it was, 30 days or 6 months or whatever, because I'm on a diet, I'm losing weight, I can't go out, I can't do anything. That's like BS, right? Because life happens, and we don't want to be in that situation where we're stopping the things that we want to do. Like, we're just like putting a hold on life when we need to be enjoying life to absolute 100% fully, right? So let's work with this, okay? And if it means having that slice of cake at a celebration, if it means you're going to a wedding and drinking champagne, whatever, it's okay because you're going to get back on it. Okay. And then the other thing that I'm hearing more than anything is that I don't think I can do this. I promise you, like I promise, in fact, I guarantee that you can do this because I make it super easy. I believe in easy. I really do. Like I like playing hard. I like having lots of fun, and I like whatever I'm doing to be easy. Like life shouldn't be like a big struggle. So trust me, just stick with me on this, okay? And if you have gone through the last couple of days and you have questions, let me know, okay? Let me know what's going on so I can talk to you. And I have no idea what's going on with the lighting in here. It's just like I have no lights on, but it keeps popping bright and light. So, all right, let's talk about real quick. One of the things that, well, yesterday, okay, sorry, if you got the email today and you're here strictly because of triggers, well, I have not done a good job of following the emails like I'm supposed to. And we talked about triggers yesterday, and I talked a lot about triggers yesterday, 2 different times. And there's tons and tons on the All Access page or in the group about it. But I'm just going to say real quick that what you want to do is you want to know what is triggering you. And when I say triggering you, what is making you take the action you don't want to take? Okay. Like, what is it? Is it seeing someone on TV eating ice cream? Is it, being irritated with your other half? Is it traffic? Whatever it is it boredom? Like that came up a lot yesterday for people. It's a lot of boredom. So what is it that triggers you? Track it. Okay. Because when you're aware, you are halfway there. Okay. Just remember that when we're aware, we are halfway there. And so make sure that you know what's triggering you. Okay. Time of day. Could be anything. Being tired. That triggers me. I'm not used to being tired. And so when I get tired, I'm like, what's wrong with this? Right. So look for those triggers. Know when they're happening. Make sure that, and we'll go over this the whole 30-day. If you decide to do the 30-day program with me, we're going to go really deep in depth with this, but I just want to make sure that you have what you need to get going. Okay. So you want to know your why. We haven't even talked about that. And I'll just talk about it super quick. Like, why do you want this? Like, is it because you're waking up in the middle of the night? Like one of my clients, like she said, she would wake up in the middle of the night and she'd have shame. Like she'd just be feeling all this shame about another day had gone by and she had done what she said she wasn't going to do, which was eat a bunch of sugar. Is it because of, your health? Is it because of your mood? And we can talk about this in depth, ad nauseum, quite frankly. But the truth is that sugar affects all of this stuff. Okay. All of it. So just like, what's your why? And then thinking about that, like, why do you want it? And then what hurts, right? Like usually there's something that hurts. It could be emotionally, like you're just not feeling yourself. You just don't have the vitality that you want. Or it could be, physically, you don't have the energy. You don't feel good in the morning. You don't feel good in the afternoon. So know your why. Okay. And then we're going to also be talking about more of this, but once you know why you want to change, then you start that runway that we talked about day 1. Okay. And then you got to have a plan. Okay. If there's one thing I say in my life more than anything else is you've got to have a plan. And when I say a plan, it can be a schedule. It can be 2 lines of what you want to do, but you got to know what you're going to do. Because if you don't know what you need to do, then you won't do what you need to do. Okay. For those people out there who are like me, who are to-do list people, you know what I'm talking about. And you get that little thrill when you click something off on the to-do list. But it doesn't matter how you do it, but you need a plan. And that plan is going to include what we talked about day 1, which is like clearing out the stuff that's going to trigger you, food. Day 2, clearing out the triggers that are going to trigger you, emotions and location and all of those things. And then today I want to talk about soothers and rituals and calendars and things that work, that for those of us that have that want more, right? And also yesterday, if you didn't watch this, please go back and watch it. Super quick, but I talked about 3 different ways to stop the triggers. Okay, stop them when they happen. And you know what? I owe a thank you to y'all last night, because last night I was late. I don't usually work this late, but it was 8 o'clock when I got done, and I went in. I was tired. I just yesterday, right? Like, it was one of those days, which I did all the things wrong. I didn't exercise in the morning. Here, this is full confession. Didn't exercise in the morning. Didn't stretch in the day. Didn't eat well. And then at 8 o'clock, I'm in there eating like leftover soup that I'd made. And I am a little tired, and I'm thinking, wonder what I'd like right now. Oh, maybe I could have a nice glass of wine. Or you know what? There's chocolate in the freezer right now. And instead, I went, okay, I owe it to the group to do what I say I do. And I did my breathing exercise. What took 5 seconds, and I was done. Like, the trigger was gone. I was over it. End of story. So it can be that easy. Okay. So it can be that easy. And if you haven't watched it, watch it tomorrow. Watch it all before tomorrow. And then tomorrow we're going to go over doing this whole thing. Okay. So a couple of other things. You want to make sure that, like, we haven't talked about is where the accountability comes in, where your, not just where your triggers are, but where your accountability is going to be, who your community is going to be, because community is super important. If there's anything we've learned in the last year, is how important community is, because so many of us have been like alone, right? And without community, and community can be on Zoom, it can be on the phone, but without community, it makes life less healthy. Okay. So, all right. Before I start about Soothers, I'm just going to check and see if I've got any questions. So Sherry has, let's see. Sherry says that she's been eating low carb for a couple of months and she's feeling better, more energy, more alert, and sleeping better. Good. Trying to find low carb recipes without almond flour is a bit of a challenge. It's true. It's true. And Sherry, I'm happy to post a podcast I was listening to this morning, and it talks about low carb, and it talks about using low carb properly. And this is okay. This is going to, like, all my friends here who are all about keto and low carb, this is going to probably irritate you. I'm just going to say it. There's a point there where, and 2 months is not the point. Okay. The point's going to be further along, but you don't want to stay low carb forever, because I'm going to put the podcast in for you, because we would go down a very long path here. But the first thing I say is congratulations. When you're doing low carb, make sure that you're getting all the good things that you want, all the vegetables that fit into your plan, and then recipes without almond flour. I'm not going to answer your question right now. I have some other flours that I use, and I'd like to come back to that when we're not on this call, and I will answer your question in the group and just give you some ideas for flours that I do use, because there are other flours. In fact, if you look for ancient grain flours, some of them will fit low carb, some of them won't. Okay. But that's one idea. And then Jody says she listened to a podcast yesterday explaining that when you eat a high fat diet, meat, dairy, that blocks glucose uptake, i.e. the sugars get stored more than when spent when you do eat carbs. Oh, you guys are pulling out all the tricks this morning. Okay. So let me, if you don't mind, give you really quick my take on this. My take is that first thing, okay, here's my take. First thing is that I eat almost no processed foods. Okay. And when I say processed foods, these are foods that are in a bag, in a box, with lots of extra things in them, have words you can't pronounce, so on and so forth. I do eat pasta sometimes. Okay. That's kind of my like celebration. Like I love pasta. Like I'm a pasta glutton for pasta, but I don't eat it all the time. I mean, I eat it twice a month now. And I do eat some bread, but the bread I eat is generally Ezekiel, which is sprouted grains. So my belief is that any of these diets out there, any of them, taken to extreme for too long, probably don't help us. Okay. I'm vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for a very, very, very long time, probably, I don't know, 35 years. If I was to go back and do it over again, I would eat fish. I can't eat fish. Like I just can't. It's been so long that I can't touch them. But I'm not so sure that diet is the healthiest diet. Okay. I have friends who have been on keto for a very, very long time, and they're starting to notice that they're having some problems. And there's people who are on paleo, same thing. Like I'm just saying, what I'm saying is that all these diets taken to extreme probably don't help us. So if you can start with, of course, eating on the outside, eating organic, eating non-GMO, and I might be opening up a huge can of worms here, right? But this is just my take on it. Limiting sugar, like taking sugar out of your diet for a good 30, 45 days, and then bringing it back in occasionally, like it doesn't become part of your diet again. All of those things, like there's a book out there called The Blue Zones, and The Blue Zones is probably the closest to what I believe in food. And it's really just about eating the healthiest food that we can buy, eating in variety. And then if you want to do keto, or you want to do low carb, or you want to do no sugar, or whatever it is, do it, but don't do it for the rest of your life. Do it for a period of time. Bring in timed eating. Like that's another one that's actually a big deal. And lots of studies show that they call it intermittent fasting, but intermittent fasting sounds awful. So I'm all about calling it timed eating because it sounds so much better, like so much more fun. But like anything, and I can jump on the Facebook group with y'all later and have long conversations about food, but just like make sure that whatever you do, that you allow yourself to do other things. And I'm using myself as the example, like having been vegetarian, basically almost vegan for so many years, I have reached a point where I just simply can't eat fish or meat or anything like that. I just can't. I bought fish and it was sad, but my cat got it. So I'm just saying, be careful of what you're doing for too long, but do the things that make you feel good. Okay. Let me stop. Because in the end, I'm also not a nutritionist, right? Like my gig is to help you do the things, whether it's drop the sugar or increase the exercise or find the adventures. I want to help you do the things that are going to give you that amazing vitality in your life. Okay. That's what matters to me. And if it means that you eat a different way, you eat a different way. Doesn't matter. Okay. So let's talk about Soothers real quick, because this is a good transition. So Soothers to me are anything that you enjoy, and could be a consumption, something you consume or something that you do. Anything that you enjoy that gives you a feeling of bliss, relaxation, whatever it is. Okay. Here's a soother that I use in the evenings. I have a nice teapot, like the one that, you actually steep your tea in. I have great tea that's, caffeine free. I have a cup from a woman that was very big in my life a million years ago. And so I make that tea and I make it as a ritual. Okay. Hang on just a second. So in that ritual, it's like relaxing. I'm doing the tea. I'm enjoying making it. It is actually something that I can use to settle myself down, soothe myself into the day, if it happens to be the end of the day, whatever it is, right? Sometimes I do it in the middle of the day. Let's say that it's a crazy, stressful day and I need something to just calm me down. Another soother for me are green drinks. Like I do like juices. I like green juices. I'm not a big fan of fruit smoothies and juices, and partially because, well, there's two reasons. One reason is because there is so much sugar in them, right? I mean, and it just is. And I don't like bananas. I really don't like bananas, and they're in a lot of those smoothies. So that's another soother. Another soother could be, the traditional bubble bath. It could be doing something for yourself, right? For me, a soother is getting to go kayaking, right? Like when I reach a point where I need a win. Okay, I'm going to call it that. Let's say that it's been a long week. It's been lots of stuff going on, and I need a little time to just just relax, just stop. Then that soother, if I get in a kayak and I go paddle, I'm done. Like I feel great. So when we're talking about the soothers, I want you to think of them as rituals of action, or it could be rituals of food or drink that are good for you, that make you feel good, that like bring in everything that you enjoy. Okay. Another soother for me is going hiking in the woods. Like, I mean, it's a big deal. Another one could just be simply having a friend that when you talk to that friend, you just feel better after talking to that friend. So like looking for these things, because a lot of times we don't keep these in our back pocket, right? We don't keep them on our to-do list or our board until we're at that point where we're bored or we're stressed or we're triggered by something. And the first thought is, let's get something to eat that's sugar, right? Let's eat the sugar, let's drink the sugar, whatever it is, right? And instead, if you've got a list of soothers that you love, easy things to reach for, interesting things, right? Like I can just show you right here. This is one of the teas I really like. It's called honey chai turmeric vitality, but there's actually no honey in it. It's cinnamon. And so like I keep things like that because I'm going to go shopping afterwards and I'm going to find some fun things that, are different. So look for those soothers. And if you can think of any for you right now that you like, tell me. Another thing, and this is in your workbook, in the guidebook, is a calendar. Okay. My suggestion is that your reset is 30 days. Okay. And the reason for that is it takes 15 days to get your sugar and your body neutral. Okay. Let's just call it neutral buoyancy for my friends out there who are divers. So it takes 15 days to get there. And then each day afterwards, you're going to have incremental I was going to say incremental betterness. You're going to get better each day. So 30 days is a good number. Okay. And there's a 30-day calendar. There's a couple of things that you can do. The first time I used a calendar, and I think a couple of people on the call have heard this. It's kind of embarrassing, but whatever, here you go. First time I used a calendar was I wanted to do, I think it was probably a 60-day reset. So got a calendar up on the wall and I was thinking, okay, what's going to make me really get excited about finishing another day? It's not just crossing the date off, big deal, right? Done that. So I remember that when I was a kid, I'm a big reader. I love to read. And so I was always a kid, like I was always that dorky kid in the corner who got all the gold stars for reading because I read so many books and I was really excited about gold stars. So I went out and I bought myself gold stars. And so what starts in this group stays in this group. Okay, don't tell anyone. This is kind of funny, embarrassing in a way. But so I got my gold stars, and every day I would give myself a gold star on that calendar. And the truth is that it became a thing. It only took a few days when you got like, gold stars up there. You don't want to like miss another gold star. So that is a visual aid, okay? And a lot of us are like, we're everything. We're kinesthetic, we're auditory, we're visual, like we're all of it. And in a lot of ways, a lot of us tend to be visual. So when you have a calendar that you can see that is there, and no one has to know why you're giving yourself gold stars, but it's going to help you like keep on going if you're in a 30-day reset. I mean, there are lots of things that'll keep you going, okay? But that's an easy one. Another one is, we talked about using gratitude to stop triggers yesterday. And one way you can do it is have a mason jar like this without the water in it. And at the end of the day, just write down something on a little piece of paper that you're grateful for, drop it in the mason jar, okay? Keep that mason jar where you can see it, right? And when you get triggered, this is a dual purpose action. So now at the end of the day, you've done something, you've added another gratitude to your mason jar. And then at the end of let's say you're triggered about something, you just go and you pull one of those gratitudes out and you read it and you're done, right? You're right back on track. So those are a few ideas for using some quick, like physical and visual and tactical things. So I'm going to stop and ask if people have questions about that, because I realize I'm running a little over today and I didn't want to do that. So anybody have questions? And if you have questions, drop them in the Facebook group, because everybody's on Facebook today. And I'll give you all a couple of minutes. I take some more water. Okay. So I'm not going to keep y'all holding, because we're 3 minutes after now and I want to keep going. All right. So those are a few of, and they are in your workbook. Have I said workbook like 17 times today? So they're in your workbook. Okay. And like, I love doing this. Like, I love the fact that when I do these sugar freedom weeks, people just shine, right? Like they just shine because they get what they're looking for. They start changing those habits. They start doing some new things. And I've been enjoying this. Like, I didn't like the first time I did one of these, I just did it because my inner circle asked me to help them. And then it became a thing. And I love doing it. I do. I just love doing it. So, and I also know like how much people's lives change. Like, I've just seen it again and again and again, dramatically. And so tomorrow, if you are interested in like really diving into this and doing a full 30 days with me, then I'll have a video and I'll do the same thing. And then we'll have like a little place where you can actually join me if you would like. And what you do when you join that is that, like, I'm there to make sure that you're covered 100%. Okay. Like, I want the sugar shame gone completely. And I want you feeling amazing. Okay. And that is, I mean, this is what I do. Like, between this and getting people exercising, got the best job in the world. Okay. So I'll talk about that tomorrow. And I just want you to know that, like, it's going to happen. And if you want the help, I'm here for you. Okay. Because I want this to happen for you. Okay. And it's also like, I had mentioned to a couple of people who said that they didn't want to do this right now. You want to do it right now. And the reason is that I'm not going to be teaching this myself personally again for a while. I don't know how long, but this will be the last time I'm personally teaching it. And I personally have a lot of fun with this, and I'm good at it. Okay. So make sure, like, if you've got any questions, drop them in the group. All right. Or drop them via email. Like, that's where that's where I'm getting all my questions right now, is via email. Like, people don't want to share them in the group, and then I get on the calls and share them. But I won't say your name. Okay. I will never say your name. So make sure that you do not miss the training tomorrow. And what we're going to do is bring your book, bring your guidebook. If you don't have it, we'll put the link in there for you again. Bring your guidebook because I want to go through it with you. I want to answer questions, okay? One-on-one questions. And I want to make sure that you are on track and knowing exactly what it is that you need to do to create a 30-day reset. Just know, okay, last time I say this to you today, just know that you want 30 days, okay? You want to do 30 days. 15 days gets you to neutral buoyancy. And then those next 15 days, make all the big changes. All right. So I'm going to stop. Does anyone have any questions before I sign off? And I will look for them in the Facebook group. Let me know. For those of you who are here, if you just can't stand it and you want to come join me again, I will be live again tonight at 6 p.m. I'll be answering questions and I'll be covering some of what we talked about today, maybe some other Soothers. I don't know. Like, it's kind of, what happens at 6 p.m. happens. So just let me know. And if there are any questions, I'm going to check one more time. And if not, I'm going to tell y'all to have a fabulous, awesome day. And for all of you, Donna. So Donna, actually, hey, Donna. So she says she's so glad she's doing this again because she's catching things this time around that you missed last time, right? And thank you. She's right. She said, yes, peeps, this is life-changing for me. Thank you for being here because the truth is that every time I do it, like I learn something new. Like I'll be out there going, so this didn't work really well for me today. What brain change, what brain trick can I do to make it easier? And then I pull it into the group because there's a million things that we can do. And I'm always looking for the ones that make this easy. If you hear anything from me, you'll hear I love easy. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Donna. And thank you all for being here. I will talk to you tomorrow and have a wonderful day. See you. Last time I said this to you today, just know that you want 30